One of the Michigan Island lighthouses was supposed to be built somewhere else. The second Michigan Island lighthouse originally was somewhere else. The first lighthouse proposed for the Apostle Islands was intended to guide ships to the La Pointe Harbor on Madeline Island. The U.S. Lighthouse Board decided this lighthouse should be built on the north side of Long Island. But when the construction foreman arrived at La Pointe in 1856 to begin work, Abraham Smolk, representing the Lighthouse Board, instructed him to build the lighthouse not on Long Island, but on the much more remote and difficult to reach site on Michigan Island. The cost of building this light was nearly 3 times what was budgeted. The lighthouse was placed into service in June 1857. Soon after the Michigan Island light was opened, Smolk's supervisors discovered what had happened, and the light was taken out of service and closed at the end of 1857. As shipping in the region increased, the Lighthouse Board decided to restore and reopen the Michigan light in September 1869. As time went by, ship captains complained that the Michigan Island light tower was too low to be seen by ships approaching from the northeast. In 1917, a plan was approved to elevate the Michigan Island light. The second lighthouse placed on Michigan Island was a cast iron cylinder with a metal skeletal framework originally erected in 1880 at Schooner's Ledge on the Delaware River in Philadelphia. In 1918, that tower was disassembled, shipped to Michigan Island. The tower waited until 1929 when it was reassembled and erected near the old lighthouse. Nearly twice as tall as the old tower, the new light is 112 feet tall, making it the tallest tower in the Apostle Islands. The new light was lit by the first electric light used in the Apostle Islands. In addition, other changes were made to the lighthouse grounds. They included a tramway constructed up the embankment, a new keeper's quarters, the old lighthouse altered to become the first assistant's quarters, and the 1869 shed and privies were rebuilt. The story of the Apostle Islands lighthouses is not only about the buildings and the equipment. It's about the lighthouse keepers and their families. Rosewald H. Pendergast was the first keeper at Michigan Island. He and his wife planted over 1,000 trees and shrubs. He was keeper until 1874. A few of the fruit trees he planted can still be found near the light station. Keeper Ed Lane was there from 1901 through 1938, 37 years as keeper of the light on Michigan Island. Ed Lane and his wife Elizabeth expanded the flower gardens and the vegetable garden. They added more cherry trees, several lilac bushes, a cedar hedge, and the all-important, to this day, croquet lawn. On October the 29th, 1929, Keeper Ed Lane wrote in the logbook, "Started up the new light at sunset. Everything in good shape. But the station looked odd, the old tower being dark for the first time in 60 years. The Apostle Islands were both a refuge and a hazard for ships on Lake Superior. The 2 towers on Michigan Island were built to guide these ships through and around the islands. These lighthouses and the stories of the people who worked and lived in these lighthouses remain an important part of the Apostle Islands' cultural legacy."